When World War II ended in Europe in May 1945, millions celebrated peace. For the ethnic Germans of Yugoslavia, however, the war was not over. Instead of liberation, thousands entered a new chapter of suffering. Entire villages disappeared. Families were rounded up. Property was confiscated. Many were sent into internment camps where disease, starvation, and forced labor became daily life. This episode explores one of the least discussed humanitarian tragedies of post-war Europe. Following the victory of Josip Broz Tito's communist government, the Anti-Fascist Council for the National Liberation of Yugoslavia, AVNOJ, issued decrees that fundamentally changed the lives of ethnic Germans. Most Danube Swabians were stripped of citizenship. Their homes, farms, businesses, and livestock became state property. Regardless of individual guilt or innocence, the entire German minority was treated as collectively responsible for wartime collaboration. Children, elderly people, and women were affected alongside former soldiers. Collective punishment became official policy. The Yugoslav government established a network of camps across present-day Serbia and other regions. Some camps were converted villages, others occupied former military installations. Among the largest were Gakovo, Krusevlje, and Rudolfsgnad, today known as Knićanin. These camps housed civilians rather than military prisoners. Many inmates were mothers with children, elderly farmers, and civilians whose only crime was their German ethnicity. Food shortages, overcrowding, disease, and harsh conditions produced catastrophic mortality. Gakovo became one of the most infamous internment camps. Originally a prosperous Danube Swabian settlement, it was transformed into a detention center after the war. Food rations were often insufficient for survival. Typhus and dysentery spread rapidly. Medical care was nearly non-existent. Survivor testimonies described children searching fields for weeds, roots, or insects to eat. Many elderly prisoners simply wasted away from starvation. Deaths occurred daily. Krusevlje and Rudolfsgnad shared many of the same conditions. Prisoners performed agricultural labor despite severe malnutrition. Housing often lacked heat or adequate bedding. Outbreaks of dysentery, tuberculosis, and typhus spread quickly. Winters proved especially deadly. Many victims were buried in unmarked or poorly documented graves. Today, memorials stand near several former campsites to remember those who died. Scholars continue to debate precise numbers because wartime and post-war records remain incomplete. Most estimates conclude that tens of thousands of Yugoslav ethnic Germans died in internment camps or from related post-war conditions. Many victims were children under the age of 14. Others were elderly people unable to survive forced labor or prolonged hunger. While exact totals vary among historians, there is broad agreement that mortality was exceptionally high and that starvation and disease were major causes of death. The demographic impact permanently altered the Danube Swabian population in Yugoslavia. Survivor accounts provide the most personal window into these events. Many describe the constant search for food. Children remembered watching parents trade treasured family possessions for a piece of bread. Some recalled carrying siblings who died before reaching medical care. Others never saw fathers or grandparents again after families were separated. For decades, many survivors rarely discussed these experiences. Only later in life did memoirs, interviews, and oral histories preserve these memories for future generations. The tragedy of the Danube Swabians did not end with World War II. For many families, the post-war years brought imprisonment, hunger, displacement, and permanent exile. Today, historians from multiple countries continue researching archival records, survivor testimony, and demographic evidence to better understand what happened. Remembering these events does not diminish the suffering of any other group during or after the war. Instead, it reminds us that collective punishment can create new humanitarian tragedies long after the fighting has stopped. The story of the Danube Swabians is ultimately one of resilience. Despite losing homes, communities, and loved ones, survivors rebuilt their lives across Europe, North America, Australia, and South America, ensuring that this forgotten chapter of history would not disappear.